Good morning, everyone. I thank you all for joining with us today. I am Santosh Kumar, and I work as a product owner for OfferX. So we have been doing webinars on candidate backouts for quite often now, but this webinar is going to be special. We have our founder and chief executive officer, Mr. Krishna Padisetty, joining with us today, and I'm sure we are in for some valuable insights. Okay, so now let's take a quick look at what we have planned for today. Can we just quickly go to the next slide? First up, we'll hear from Mr. Krishna Padisetty himself. He'll be sharing us his experience and thoughts on candidate backouts and ethical values which are missing to while candidates onboarding or offboarding from the company. Next on the agenda, I'll be walking you through a brief demonstration of OfferX, giving you a first-hand look at our platform. And finally, we'll open up the floor to Q&A question and answer session. We'll love to see your participation in Q&A. Please pour us with your questions. All right, so it's time to kick things off with a bang. Without keeping you waiting any longer, let's dive right in. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Krishna Padisetty. Krishna, the stage is all yours now.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Santosh. I appreciate that. And by the way, I really want to thank everyone for taking the time and participating in this session. I truly appreciate that. So the way that I would like to conduct this session is I want to share a little bit about myself and then the challenges that we had with onboarding employees, and then how this idea actually originated and how it's actually helping us right now. So yeah, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so a little bit about me. I have technical background. I completed my engineering in 1996 and then joined Microsoft 97. After working at Microsoft for a long time, I thought it's about the time for me to get off the ship and do something interesting. So that's how the Valero was actually formed. And then in the early stages, just like anybody, it was a challenge. Just building the company, hiring the employees. It's not an easy task. So we had plenty of challenges. I will share some of my experiences during that time. The employees, they were just ghosting. Like they will accept the offer and they will make me believe they will join on that particular day, but nowhere to be found. So that's when in 2021, I thought of, this has to be solved because it's not just me. There are a lot of other companies who are actually getting impacted by this unethical behavior. So then we thought, what will be an ideal way to solve it? So we'll talk about how it's been solved and how it's effectively working for us. In like 2 years, we were able to do some groundwork, worked with attorneys. How do we make sure it's perfectly fine to do reviews on the candidates and employees. And then finally, the product was released in 2023. And in 2024, within like few months of time, we have surpassed like 1,000 customers at this point. Next slide, please. Okay, so let me start some of the challenges that I ran into. I think we ran into more than 50 or like 100 ghosting stories in the past few years. But some of the ones that I could remember or some of the things that came to my attention. The first one was this happened in 2023, the program manager. The situation was we are working with a very, very strategic partner. It's a very big client. We promised to get a program manager started in 2 weeks timeframe. And then all the interviews were complete. They created the IDs. They provided the laptop. Everything is like all set. Only thing that we found out just like few days before, the guy is not joining us. So there is no choice for us, right? Like, I mean, we can always take a little bit more time and say, we'll get you a replacement. But the problem was that's not an option because the project is going to be kickstarted and we need to do something. So literally a senior person at a leadership level from our company had to be deployed as a program manager. I mean, the guy was doing a program manager almost like 10 years ago. He's like a pretty senior guy. But unfortunately, we had to deploy the guy at the client location, and it had a lot of impacts on our on our company because we need to run our company. We cannot operate the company without leaders. So that's one example with a program manager. And literally, that's what saved our vendorship. But it still had a little bit of impact on us. But we were able to save our vendorship there. And the second one that you see, the DB developer, the situation is that this happened like a few years ago. I was here. I mean, I live in Seattle, Washington, but I was visiting Hyderabad at the time. We were all having a New Year celebration. Everything was just normal. It's just that after everything is complete with the New Year celebration on December 31st, people are coming back to work on January 2nd. But this particular guy was missing. He was just fine. He was just laughing, having fun with us. Everything was just normal. Like Jan 2nd, the guy was not found. We thought maybe the guy was sick. Maybe he will just report. Like few days we waited, but nothing happened. It actually has turned into a week. And after that week also, the guy didn't show up. Then we started suspecting something has happened. So we visited the guy's home. That's when we felt something fishy. The guy literally ghosted on us. So in this case, it's not a candidate, it's an employee, right? He was working with us for like 6 months or 1 year. I don't remember how long it was. So after a week or so, we found out this guy has, literally ghosted on us. And then we tried to chase this guy, but I mean, the first thing was like, it broke my heart because a lot of things are operated by trust, right? Money actually comes second. It's all about the values, the relationship, the ethical behaviors and all that. So it kind of shook my confidence a bit, shook my confidence because I was there, met with the guy, everything was fine. And then it made me to feel like, who do I trust from now on, right? It was pretty bad for me, but then we had to do some arrangements to find a replacement. It wasn't an easy thing for us because it's like a 15-member project. Luckily, I had good relationship with the client. They kind of understood like what's going on, and they kind of supported me. But it's a pretty bad situation. The third one is one of the guy got an opportunity in UK and he wanted to move there. We were supportive. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and move. But the moment he chose to move, he was completely disengaged with the client project, which kind of led to some escalations. We had to deal with it. That's how it went on for like a month to 2 months. So somehow, like, people don't want to stay committed once they know like they are actually leaving, right? And the lead developer one, that's a big one, actually. He was a senior guy, probably has around maybe 15 years of experience, pretty good guy technically. I really felt this person was, a future leader and he will be with us. He's doing a good job. So because of that confidence, I committed a good project with a very large client. Just within like 2 weeks of joining, I think he has been working on it for some time. It's not that he chose to leave in like 2 weeks, but he has been working on it. He never told us. After everything is complete, in spite of he knowing like he's getting onboarded as the first lead developer for the project, he totally misled us. And then we started the project. After 2 weeks, the guy said, hey, I'm resigning. And that too, he said, like, I'm not going to be coming from tomorrow kind of a thing. He didn't even give us much time. So because of that, we took a major hit, actually. When I say major hit, like you see that, 100 resources. We lost like probably around 10 to 15 projects because they were really looking for, the client was looking for a close partner who can actually build their applications from offshore. After they had that kind of experience with us, what they choose to do, they went and started working with a different supplier. So that was like a very, very bad experience. Till date, I could not forget how much of a damage this one person actually has caused to the company. And the lead developer, below you see like in 2015, this was my first time experience. People will actually ghost because never in my life when I when I commit something, I stick to it. My word is really important. I cannot really back out from what I commit. So in 2015, that's when like Valero was actually formed. It's a services company. I wanted to bring in a lead recruiter. I interviewed. I liked the guy. Communication was good. I felt everything is great, and also the guy convinced me so well that he loved our company and he wanted to join our company. He just did everything. I felt like I never had any second thought. The guy was supposed to start on a Monday, where to be found. He's just not picking up my phone calls anymore, right? For a few days, I thought maybe something has happened, like the guy will come back. But slowly, the reality, sets in, and I understood this guy has ghosted on me. That's my first experience. I couldn't even comprehend, or I couldn't even digest. Like really, like people would do these kind of activities, right? And then, you see the UX designer, that's one example. And then recruiters or developers, some of them have engaged in some moonlighting activities, which we don't have much visibility. And then there is like a DB developer who actually gave us some fake documents. The problem we ran into with this guy, the interview is complete. Customer liked the guy, told us to get onboarded. They created the IDs. The guy actually got onboarded. But the only mistake, I guess, what we have done is we should have waited until the background check to be completed in this particular case because of the urgency. We did things in parallel. After a few days, we have discovered there are discrepancies with a lot of things. What the guy has committed, there is like fake experience. There are other things team has found. Unfortunately, we cannot go back to the client and say that this is a fake guy. The moment we say it's a fake guy, you guys know what will happen, right? Like they will say like, what's your screening process and how can you avoid these things? You will be in a hot seat. It's going to be difficult. So luckily, they actually ran into a situation saying, there are some changes with the project and we may not be able to onboard this guy, but we got saved. This is the only time we actually got saved, where the guy actually faked and the customer also had some issues. So we got saved. Otherwise, it could have been very, very problematic for us. Can we go on to the next slide, please? Okay, so these are some of my learnings in the past few years by running the services company. Oftentimes, what I have seen is candidates don't even feel what they are doing is wrong. It kind of bothers me big time. They always feel it is their right to accept multiple offers and then just join the one they like. I have no problem in candidates receiving multiple offers. It's perfectly fine, right? What is not fine is falsely committing and making the companies to wait and then finally don't show up. Like that's like totally unethical, right? Like that's not how a person leads their life, right? They need to stick to the word. It's pretty bad. So that's one thing I have seen. And one of the reason I was just thinking, why candidates actually operate this way? Why are they just ghosting on the companies, right? Probably, I think they have the feeling in their mind, it's just a machine, right? Company is nothing but it's a machine. Like, if not me, somebody else will join the company and there is no harm to the company. So seems like there is some notion in the candidate's mind, companies are machines, but in reality, companies are people, right? People get stressed. People who, let's say, a HR manager or a delivery manager, when they are supposed to deliver a guy, if the guy is not there, I don't think it's going to be a pleasant experience for them. It takes a lot to, get projects, build relationships. It's not easy. Suddenly, if you just go and undo all the good work the company has done, it's not going to be easy, right? So that's one thing I have seen where candidates don't seem to think about the impacts they are causing. And in some cases, I have seen candidates, falsely pursuing the job opportunity. In fact, they have no interest in joining this company, but the reason they want to get engaged and go through this interviewing process is to get a higher offer. Even though you give a higher offer, there is no guarantee they will join. What they are doing is they are actually taking those offers and going after other companies and hunting for better pay. Okay, so that's something I have seen. And one of the big problem is many times this has been happening. It's kind of problematic. They go through the interview process with the client. Let's say if you have a Java developer position coming from your client, you provide some profiles. Let's say the guy is not on your payroll. You just find someone on the market because a lot of times when requirements come in, there is no guarantee that you're going to have the guy on your payroll. So you need to look at the open market, find the guy, put them through the interview process. Once the guy is selected, the guy knows, he did the interview well. Now he can actually demand more and whatnot. Suddenly they will demand saying, I need a higher salary. So that's one thing I have seen. In some cases, I have seen they want to work from home. Like they will say, like, I want like 100% remote. So they do a lot of twisting after the client interview is complete. That's again, I don't feel ethical, because if something is there, they need to be clear on it before we set up the interviews with the client. But I've seen those kind of behaviors coming from them. And then in some cases, I have seen candidates, employees, they kind of do false reviews on the companies. That's what I have seen is, let us say if you are releasing a person from the company for certain reasons, right? Maybe some performance reasons, or maybe you didn't get a good feedback from the client. I mean, of course, you would still give like a notice period, like 2 months or 1 month, whatever that has been agreed with the employees. But they don't relay that message that way. They actually go and pollute all the other employees, saying, I have been doing such a great work, but company doesn't seem to care about me, and they're actually releasing me. They don't really talk about the facts. So what that's really doing, it's causing unhealthy environment among the employees, and they tend to feel like, oh, there is something wrong with the company, right? So that's also something I have seen happening. And like I mentioned, the employees could abscond at any time during the employment. The example that I gave you, it literally broke my heart, because I was with a guy on like December 31st. We were all having good fun for the new year. And then January 2nd came, the guy didn't show up. Like, I was like really confused, right? Initially, I thought like something was not right. Maybe he was sick or something, but in a week's time, we found out this guy absconded. So that was pretty bad experience. And in some cases, we have seen employees, they do all the sweet talking, and they will feel like, they will give you the impression like they are a good employee, they are vested in the company. But I have seen some employees were really engaged in moonlighting, and that's why they were not available when I pinged them on Teams, or, my emails, or actually, delayed with the responses. So some cases I have seen moonlighting as well. And particularly when it comes to ghosting, I have seen a lot of like small and mid-sized companies getting impacted because I have a lot more visibility in that area. A lot of the small companies and mid-sized companies that I collaborate and I work with, oftentimes everyone is actually having a similar issue. It's not just I'm not alone, right? I go talk to other company, they will also say, we release like 10 offers and hardly like 2 guys are joining the company. When I say release, like it's more to do with commitment, right? They accept the offer and then but 80 or 90% just don't show up. So it's a very common problem. Maybe if the company is big, like Google and Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, I don't know if they truly have this kind of issue, but I don't think it is. Um, um, that's my understanding. So employees could be dishonest, mislead other employees and the employer. I think I covered that a little bit earlier, how employees will mislead with some information than what was being communicated to them. But overall, if I have to summarize, what I have seen is when the employee's mind gets to a point, okay, they are leaving this company. Within like a month or two, you can really start seeing the difference. Once they put down the papers, you could immediately, see the difference. You will get a lot of escalations from the clients, or they don't seem to do a good job. They kind of create some trouble with other employees. I'm not saying like that's the case with everyone. I have some excellent employees who I'm really, really thankful, where they ensured the transition is like smooth, seamless. There are great employees too. But at the same time, I have seen incidents where employees actually change colors the moment they feel like, okay, I'm not going to be in this company anymore. There is no reason for me to take care of this company anymore. Suddenly, they will create a lot of problems. Okay, so these are some incidents based on my own experience with the company. But I would love to hear more from you guys as soon as I'm done with my presentation. When we go through the Q&A, I would love to hear your questions, like your experience. I would love to work with all of you to see how we can solve this problem. Can we go on to the next slide, please? Okay, so solution, right? The thing that I was really thinking about this, how am I going to solve this problem? So this happened like a few years ago. There is no review system on the candidates or the employees. So that's exactly why a lot of these individuals are taking advantage, or I would say exploiting the system. Because if they are ghosting on a company, that history is not tracked anywhere. And they can ghost it again. They can continue this for their life because they are not being caught, right? That's the main problem. So that's when I started thinking, I think there has to be some sort of a tracking system. And how do we ensure we track that unethical behaviors? The solution was to release the offers online so that they can go and e-sign the document. At the same time, they will also consent if the experience goes bad or good, whatever the experience going to look like. The company is eligible to write review on them. And likewise, employee can also write the review on the company of the onboarding experience. So that way, the levels are set on both sides. And most often what I have seen is with our own experience, when we release an offer online and we ask the candidate to e-sign and making them aware if they back out, there will be a review on them. In a lot of cases, people are not willing to sign. And I feel thankful for that. The reason is because I don't want to be misled. Because oftentimes, if you do it by email and all that, they'll say, yeah, I mean, I accept the offer, but the guy is not found, right? So it's working very well for us when we release it online, when people are committed. Oftentimes, like 90% of the cases, like people are just joining so that we are not wasting our time, okay? So I talked a little bit about, e-signing, and then talk a little bit about offer, they are actually consenting, the reviews will be done on both sides. So let's say if a lot of these companies are releasing the offers using this platform, so what will really happen is candidates will have a little bit of difficult time to ghost the employers, because now they know they are being tracked. and they cannot find the next job, it will actually bring some discipline in the system. So that's the simple solution, and it has been working for us. We can talk about more about your questions and all that in the oncoming time that has been set. Can you go on to the next slide, please? Okay, so that's a little bit about from my side what I have shared. So at this point, I would like to hand off to my product owner, Santosh. So he has been leading this product. So he would like to give a little bit of demo and show you the UI so that you have a little bit of feel for it. Right after that, we can take questions and we can talk about if there are any concerns. We can go through that. So being said that, Santosh, would you like to take over and give them the demo?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Krishna. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. So without any further delay, let me go. Let me take you through the OfferX demo. So I have a job, and I also found out a suitable candidate for that particular job. But always a nagging doubt will always creeps in whether this particular candidate will comes into the system or not, right? So, for example, say that I have a candidate called Shubman Patel, and I would like to see the credibility of that particular candidate in the OfferX portal now. Let's see that. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly search for the candidate, Shubman Patel. And then I can be able to see the past onboarding experience of that particular candidate. So just look at the onboarding reviews. So he was working with Nulltat and Wazi before. He was working with these companies before. So let's quickly go through one of the companies review. For example, Wazi. So he was successfully onboarded in Wazi. He was able to stick to his terms and conditions. And just look at the review which we got from the OC company. The onboarding experience for Shubman Patel has been a successful one. We are thrilled to have a Shubman Patel as a part of our team and looking forward for witnessing their contribution, growth, and contributing to the OC company. So he was successfully onboarded here. But when it comes to the other company called Nulltat, he was not sticking to his terms and conditions. He was breaching the terms and conditions there. So if you have a complete history of the past onboarding experience of this particular candidate, then I can able to take a decision whether I need to release an offer letter to this particular candidate or not. In the same way, I can also see something called offer history, which is really important. I can able to identify whether this particular candidate is accepting multiple offers at the same time or not. If you just look at this particular candidate information here, so he was accepting a job offer on 9th November and then on 16th September. And when it comes to the other offer, it is on the 9th September. That means he was trying to accept multiple offers at the same time, right? So by just looking at this particular information, we can make informed decision just to make sure that whether we need to release an offer letter to this particular candidate or not. So if you feel like this, but if we can release a offer letter to this particular candidate, then we can just directly do it from here. I'll just click on release an offer. I'll select a job title. Let's say product manager. And I'll keep 1 week of time as an expiry date. And the job start date, let's make it April. Yeah, I can also attach offer letter. Just click on next. Yeah, so I can able to send out an email. So this is something a predefined template which we're providing, and this is something which is editable. And we can also set automatic reminders to take action on this particular offer letter. Let me provide a captcha, and I'll just click on release. Yeah, that's it. So we have released an offer letter to this Shubman Patel candidate. Let me go to Shubman Patel account now. Yeah, I got to see the record which Shubhan Patel got from Apex India Info System. Then I would like, as a candidate, I would like to accept an offer letter. I can able to see an offer letter from here. And then I can also do an acceptance. As a part of acceptance, as Krishna mentioned, we have to provide e-signature. I can, as a candidate, I can draw my signature, or I can select the font style as well. That's it, as simple as that. Yeah. You can see the record in the accepted tab now. Let me go to uh, the company portal again. I can able to see Shubman Patel record in accepted tab. And now I can also able to review this particular candidate. So based on the onboarding experience, if this particular candidate has ghosted, now then I can able to provide a ghosted review, or is successfully onboarded, then I can able to give an onboarding a review to him. For example, say that this particular candidate has ghosted, then I'll just give a 2-star rating to him. That's it. And if I search for Shubman Patel record now, then I can able to see his review from the Apex India Info System. And this particular review can be visible to all other companies as well, so that even they can take informed decision, based upon his credibility. Then they can understand whether this particular candidate is really reliable to that particular company or not. That's how it works. Yeah. Okay. So that's all about the demo. Can we just go to the next slide? Okay, so we have an exciting developments coming up in the future. So we are very excited to share that we are coming up with another innovation product called ScreenX, which will be integrated with OfferX very soon. So ScreenX is a web-based platform designed to significantly reduce your interview screening time by up to 90%, all while streaming the entire process from the start to finish. So SkinX is very user-friendly. You can easily configure the questions you wanted to ask from an extensive question bank for a free, and moreover, the system that sends a video interview to the candidate, allowing them to respond at their own pace. So once the candidate completes their interview, the platform automatically saves it and notifies the hiring team. So that's it. So and moreover, and the interviewer can able to view this recorded video, and the efficiency gains are remarkable. Interviewers can review a 30-minute screening time in a less than a 3 to 5 minutes of time actually. So this means you can assess more candidates without consuming as much as your valuable time. So after selecting a right candidate for a job on ScreenX, you can seamlessly connect with OfferX directly from ScreenX. That's how it is. So it just works like a single sign authentication. So one of our addition to the OfferX system is offboarding review. So we could able to see there are most of the candidates are we can say employees, because they're already part of that particular company. So most of the employees are not ethical when they are moving from the company actually. So now the companies and the candidates can provide reviews while departing their ways. So we are bringing up offboarding reviews as well, same as the onboarding reviews. And our next feature will be the consent on employment letter. So in response to the evolving needs of our client, so we have identified few clients using HRMS system already to release offer letters. So understanding the importance of seamless hiring process, so we are introducing this new feature called consent on employment letter that allows your existing workflow in the HRMS system without any disruption. That means you can still release offer letters from your HRMS system, and you can release consent on employment letter from OfferX portal. So beyond just obtaining consent, so this feature enhances transparency and ensures that the candidates fully understand the terms and conditions of their employment. So candidates can sometimes end up in violating the consent on employment letter as well, or they can stay committed. So based on the candidate onboarding journey, companies and candidates can write reviews in the OfferX system. So it is a proactive step towards fostering clear communication and building trust between the company and the candidate. So as we continue to innovate and expand our product offerings, stay tuned for official releases, and we look forward to bringing you more cutting-edge solutions to elevate your recruitment experience. So now let's jump on to the most exciting part of the webinar, Q&A session.
Yeah.
So we urge
So
all.
Santosh,
Yeah.
sorry, like I want to add on to something what you talked about consent of employment. I just want to give a little bit of clarification.
Okay.
The reason why we are doing this consent on employment is there are many companies already using HRMS systems. They already have the offer release mechanism in it, right? So then the question arises, like, how can I take advantage of offer X? I cannot like release offer on like two platforms, which totally makes sense. So we are working on the integration with several HRMS systems. So what we thought in the meantime, the HRMS system uses what they can do. They could still release the offers using their HRMS systems as usual, no problem. The only thing is they have to release a consent on employment in offer X. What that will do, that actually binds the agreement between the employer and the candidate stating, I will do review on offer X. However, the offer will be released on my HRMS system, right? So that way you are just clarifying to the candidates that reviewing can still happen on OfferX, though you are not releasing an offer on OfferX, you will continue to use HRMS systems. So this way, all the existing HRMS system users, they can operate the way they have been operating and still take advantage of reviewing on OfferX. So that way it's like best of both worlds. But we are working on the integration with HRMS systems. So just thought of clarifying a bit. Yeah, I guess we can jump to Q&A and open up for taking questions.
Right. So we urge all of you to start firing away with your questions. Mr. Krishna is here to address all your inquiries. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess whomever has questions, like probably raise your hand and we'll unmute you.
Looks like Rajesh has a question. Can we enable Rajesh mic? Yeah. So Rajesh, we have enabled your mic. So can you just pose your question, Rajesh?
Hey, hi. I have seen this session. It is very useful for us. So I just want to ask like few questions. So you told that we can able to track the offers of the candidate who ghosted, right?
Without what?
With who ghosted the previous companies.
Okay.
Right. So how do you track the candidate who is an immediate one and who doesn't have any offers? Still, they ghost the current offer, right?
Okay, so you're saying like, how do we know if a candidate won't ghost? Is that your question?
One
Is
ghost,
that
right? Right, exactly.
Okay, yeah. See, the thing is, with OfferX, you can just go check whether the guy exists in the system. So that is one thing you could do. The other part is the very fact that you are releasing the offer and telling the guy it's a review system, it's a binding on both sides, sharing that importance actually plays a major role, right? Like after we started using OfferX, more than 90% of the candidates ended up joining us. So there is still a small chance of 10% people might, still ghost, but they will pay the price for it at a later point. So as more and more employers are coming together, like now we have around 1,000+ companies signed up. So as everyone is coming together, this problem will get eliminated. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So can we enable Parul mic? Parul Nehra? Yeah, I think Parul, you can post your question. So we have enabled your mic. Yeah.
Thank you, Santosh. Thank you, Krishna.
Yep.
So I have two questions. One is I want to know how vast is your database? How many candidates does exist in your database till date?
Okay. Yeah. I think we have around few thousand candidates based on the offers that has been released. The database is actually getting evolved as we speak. I would imagine in the coming months, it's going to get more enriched. But
Can I have a tentative idea of the number?
I think we have around maybe 5,000 or so at this point. And
Correct.
And the other thing, what we are looking at doing, Parul, is I'm not too sure I don't think we have given enough importance to the offboarding reviews. So the moment that offboarding review comes out, what will end up happening is a company will onboard all their employees on OfferX. So let's say a company has 100 or 200 employees. All these employees will get onboarded because they want to do the offboarding reviews on them. So pretty quickly, within a year or so, you will start seeing quite a lot of candidates getting onboarded. So that's one mechanism how we are looking at bringing more candidates. And then, like I said, the important fact is making the candidate aware that there are implications with onboarding and offboarding. That's actually helping a lot at this point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So my second question is there a provision or via any of the search methodology, can we view what all offer any other organization has placed? Is there a provision? Like we can make a search based on candidate, but can we make a search based on the organization who has been registered with you?
Oh, you mean like you want to search like other organizations to see what kind of offers they are releasing?
Yes. Is there any provision for that?
No, no, I mean, that's a privacy issue. So no, we don't allow that because this is purely meant for employer and employee type of engagement. So as an employer, they will know about candidates, but they will not know. Yeah.
But there is, okay, that is a good point because that was my concern whether privacy on that side is maintained.
No, I
But
mean, we
then
are very
there is
serious about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I come across a candidate who's been offered by my competitor, right? So that there could be a challenge for the other organization. It would be very easy for me to fishnet the candidate who's been offered by my competitor.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be a challenge rather?
Yeah, see, what happens is, let us say you have a candidate that you are releasing an offer. Let's say if a candidate of your interest, right? Like if you go to the profile, if the other company is also using OfferX and they are releasing, you will know actually, but you will not know which company has released the offer. But you will know this guy is actually fishing around and not being honest with you, accepting offers, things like that, right? The moment you see the guy has accepted like 3 offers along with yours, you will know right away this guy is not honest with you, right? So we provide that level of visibility, but we don't go any further beyond that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense.
Yeah. Good questions.
And
good questions. Yeah.
just one last question. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just exceeding to the budget that I was given.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. So is this abide by the data privacy law, all the data that you are showcasing from candidates' perspective?
Yep. We are actually, we have taken this very seriously. We have hired a very reputed law firm. They are an experts in the cybersecurity, data privacy laws. Not only in India, they are also into Europe, other countries. So they are helping, and we have pretty much vetted this whole process with them.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Parul. So I can see Shalini. Can we enable Shalini's mic?
Hi, Krishna. Hi, Santosh.
Yeah.
So firstly, I'd like to appreciate the product. It's excellent. I'm sure in times to come, all organizations are definitely going to benefit out of this. So I have a couple of questions here. Some of them Parul asked, so that's been answered. Now the question here is there a method that we are able to view after going through the entire screening and the interview process, and only when we go to make an offer, is that when we get an information about the candidate, or is it possible that when we at level 1 of screening itself, can we go and touch base with your database and see if this candidate is available and get the information right there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. As a user of the system, right? Like you can, just like LinkedIn, you go to LinkedIn and you look up people and look at the profile. So the same way it actually operates. You just go into OfferX, you type the candidate and review their history. And then you can make a decision even before making that offer. But the key here is it's important that everyone start using the system. I mean, the database is rapidly getting built. You would see, a lot more rich information in the coming months. That's what I would say for your.
Yes, I get your point, but my question was that prior to making an offer, right from screening,
Yep.
right? Like if I have got a CV. Now somebody I posted a job posting and they responded to that. I like the profile. I go ahead and have a word with him, but before I schedule interviews, is there a method that I can go
Yes.
and look into your database, right? That is my question.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that way I would like to save the time of the interviewer is.
Yeah. I mean, very, very, very valid point, Shalini. That's awesome. Because if you see someone is kind of playing around, you rather save yourself, right? Yes, you can actually see the information beforehand. Yeah. Thanks for giving the context.
Provided they're in your database.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Secondly, is as you know, we may find multiple people with the same name. How do you differentiate?
Yeah, so we are actually differentiating with multiple aspects of it, just not by the name. So there are, for example, which university they went to, which year they actually passed out. So there are some unique differentiators we have. That's how we actually differentiate the profile.
So how do we, okay, that's for you too, but when we looked into this demo of the product, right, we just went with the name and stuff. So my question is, how do we now, if as I talked, this is in connection with the point number one, right? So let's take the same Shubham Patel or whatever he was, right? So I get a candidate, Shubham Patel. I look at, and there's only one Shubham Patel. So I would presume that, is it the same? How would I know it's not the same?
See so what we have done is we have actually provided their education information and their work history, that kind of a thing. So you could cross check if this matches. Let's say, in LinkedIn also, I kind of come across similar example, right? I look up the name and some name comes up, then I will see, is this guy, living in Seattle, working in the healthcare? Then I will see, oh yeah, this is the guy I'm actually, right? It's the same way. Everything is same actually.
All right. So there are further search options, you mean to say in that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that was showcased right now through this demo. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
My third question is there a plan? I think it's a long wait till you'll be able to increase your numbers, because only once you have the companies onboarded utilizing your product is when slowly and steadily you'll be able to build your database, right? The numbers would increase from 5,000 to 15,000 in a day, or it may increase in a week's time, for example. Are you having any plans of integrating this with all these search engines or the portals, job portals, so that would make it much more easier and feasible for companies, to kind of like Naukri, Indeed, or LinkedIn, whatever are these job portals? IM Jobs, Hirist.
So to answer your question, yes, we have been planning on doing some integrations. At this point, we are looking at HRMS integration. Of course, there are other integrations in the pipeline. I would love to collaborate with you if you have some suggestions, ideas, that will benefit you. We would love to collaborate with you, Shalini. We can follow up at a later point and see how we can make this beneficial.
All right. And last question, does it show that the candidate is currently holding an offer? If, for example, so if he's appearing on your database, I'm sure one of the clients of yours must have made an offer. So he's currently actively holding an offer. Does that also get reflected?
Yeah. So Santosh, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, so as I showcased in demo, so there's something called offer history, right? So in the offer history, and the candidate can then the employer can able to see all the recent history of the candidate. Actually, we don't showcase the company name, but we are going to showcase the date and moreover whether the candidate accepted or rejected the offer. That's how it is going to be.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shalini. Yeah. So I see Pavan Koduru. So can we enable mic for Pavan? Yeah. Pavan, you can unmute and then you can start asking your question. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Santosh. Thanks, Krishna. I think
Yep.
it was a nice session to understand the bottleneck and the problem most of the recruiters face in the market. The ideology sounds good.
Thank you.
Congratulations for that.
Yep.
I just have two questions for you. One of the questions is partly covered by Shalini in terms of candidate duplication check. When I say
Yep.
that, so you said that to, let's say, Shubham Patel case again, let's take the same example. Going by his profile to understand the domain, industry, where does he come from? We gonna understand who is this candidate. Instead of that, do we have a specific identity like email ID or an Aadhaar card or maybe some of that stuff which can able to figure it out? Is this the same guy that we are trying to make an offer, and that's the same guy who actually shopped around or has done the ghosting in the past? So
Yeah.
is there a way to find the duplicacy instead of we just go by industry or a company name? Because there may be multiple people in the same industry and the same company.
Yeah. So we have actually looked at this in the past, using the Aadhaar card and how do we differentiate. The thing is, if you want to differentiate somebody with an Aadhaar card, you need to get hold of that Aadhaar card, right? Before you could do it. Yes, there are ways how we could narrow down the uniqueness of the profile. But the thing that we felt was the simplest way is like whatever that's visible, how do we make that obvious so that when you look somebody, you know the uniqueness, right? But as we evolve, we can, adopt like other ways to kind of give a unique ID to each profile, as this is becoming a standard at that point, right? Like it gives us a lot of leeway to do something like that. Until then, we are just going with like some simplistic approach. And also we are planning on taking this product to other countries as well, not just in India. So we also need to find ways, how do we keep this solution a little bit, extensible and keep it a little bit more generic. So yeah, anyway, so it's kind of a little bit complex area, but we are doing it sufficiently so that people can identify the uniqueness of the profile.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
My next question and the last question, as you rightly said, I think the people who doesn't want to ghost, for them it's the right platform to be in, right? But the people who actually have an intention to ghost in the market, when I know that I'm going to do that, I certainly doesn't want to give my consent here because I would be get exposed. How are we going to convince, or how are we going to make them give their consent? Because those kind of people we have to bring in here. That will make it very evident for all of us to look at them and eliminate them, right? So what, can you throw some light on, as a recruiter, how can we go ahead and convince them to give a consent?
Yeah, I mean, I like this question. So the thing, Pawan, with this one is, I don't know if you want to convince this guy. The reason why I say I don't feel that we need to convince this guy is the very fact the guy doesn't want to get onboarded on this platform to receive your company's offer is actually telling you right away the guy is going to ghost you.
True.
Right? So that's how we are avoiding quite a lot of unethical candidates. Right? So that's exactly why I'm also saying you don't need like a large database. The very fact of this process itself is weeding out the bad guys. Right? Yeah, that's like 90%. I'm telling you, like our experience actually has improved dramatically. That's why I feel like, all the companies should use it. I know the pain of it. I know a lot of companies going through this. I really want to, help ourselves. We need to stop this unethical behavior.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Krishna.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Pawan.
Thank
you.
Yeah. So we have one more question from Swati. Can we enable Swati's mic? Yeah, Swati, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi Santosh and hi Krishna.
Yeah, hi.
So like you had here with a good product. I mean, whatever like you have briefed till now, it's well and good. But we had like few scenarios where a few companies will give the offer letter on the same day of the joining. I mean, based on the scenarios happening in the market.
Yeah.
And also the thing is like in few scenarios, candidate after joining with some ex company, like they'll attend interviews, and I mean like after joining also they'll attend the interviews.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do
Right.
you handle that scenario?
Yeah.
I mean,
So
how can we filter that?
yeah. So I
I mean,
guess
we
like
had faced few things after joining like and working for 1 month, they'll get the other offer and jump to the other thing.
yeah. So this platform is going to be extremely powerful for that, right? Because not only they are going to get like onboarding review, now they are also going to get an offboarding review. So they get like they get dinged like twice because I mean, you are so right. Actually, I have seen the same situations where people just come and use us like a stopgap, right? They want to be hunting for other opportunities, use us for like few weeks to get the salary, and then they jump the ship, right? So in this case, what we do, you will actually review the offboarding when the guy is exiting the company. You will explain like this guy joined only like 3 weeks. Literally, he exploited us, he used us, and he found a different opportunity and left us, right? So that behavior will be tagged. At this point, I think I missed a guy, you missed a guy who actually exploited us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So till what extent this data will be maintained? I mean, till the candidate joined and with the company, he stays for 3 months, or how long the thing?
No, I mean it's for life. It's for life.
Okay.
Yeah,
What?
because this is like such an important data. It's a profile. It needs to stay for life. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine then, Krishna. Thank
Okay.
you.
Awesome. Thank you. I think we have Ravi.
Have Ravi, yeah. So can we enable Ravi's mic? Please go ahead, Ravi. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Krishna. This
Yeah.
is an excellent product, Krishna. Just a quick feedback. Are
Yeah.
you also going to bring this onto the blockchain, if that makes sense, just to create the uniqueness?
Yeah. Awesome. Like I haven't heard this thing before. Like I mean I know what is blockchain, but I haven't heard anyone connecting. I would love to hear your thought process, you know, how this will benefit and
Yeah,
and then we
probably
can
you
chat
might
for
want to
more.
look into that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
In this second aspect is, you know, there might be a bit of backlash, right, in terms of candidate approach. But then this is really a good tool for the corporates to, you know,
Yeah.
put in. But how do you integrate with their existing ATS is the biggest challenge, right? So yeah. So we kind of use multiple ATS, you know, systems, segregate. Yeah. So how do you plan to do
So
that?
we are working on actually there is like a 3-prong approach, right? So one is we talked about consent on employment, meaning they don't need to abandon their current process. They can continue to operate the same way, but you actually send a small agreement on OfferX with the candidate saying, hey, you know what? We'll be using our own system to release offers and we'll be hiring you and all that, but we are eligible to write review on you, right? So that's more like a stopgap solution, what we have found at this point. And when it comes to integration, we are looking at 2 different ways of doing. One is doing an integration at an UI level and doing an integration at an API level. So we will expose the APIs so that the ATS systems can consume and make like a deep integration into their product. That's one form. The other form is we will just give them more like a plugin and they can plug into their system and make it work. So it totally depends on each system that we are working with, and then we go from there. It's currently in works, Ravi.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then I think this exit feedback would definitely help. And do you have any plans for integrating this with the background agencies?
Background agencies, yes. Again, we will expose the APIs if they want to consume from our system and make it integrated as part of the BG check. Yeah, we would love to.
All right. All right. Congratulations, Krishna. Wonderful product.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ravi. Appreciate your feedback.
Yeah. Thanks, Ravi. Yeah, so we can take one last question from Durga. Can we enable Durga's mic? Durga Bhattacharya? Yeah. So Durga, please, you can enable your mic and you can start asking the
Yeah,
question. Yeah.
yeah. So, there is an instance like where I faced, we have already offered, I mean, there was a candidate who was serving notice and, who is like, has an offer. And we have also, offered the candidate who is being selected from our company also. So I basically wanted to hold on to the candidate's offer until the day he joins us. So is that a right approach?
I'm sorry, like I got a little bit distracted. So you said like you released an offer and there is also other company released an offer. And
No,
you
the
don't
candidate
want to...
already got an offer, and
Okay.
when he was serving notice, so we have also, he got selected for our interview, and we have also wanted to offer him. But the candidates do shopping. So,
Oh yeah, right.
yeah.
So you want
So
to hold your offer until the day that guy joins. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a right approach?
I don't think so. The reason is if you don't release an offer, there is no commitment from your side to the candidate, and there is no reason why the candidate should hang around for your company, right? Because there is no commitment. The best thing is to release an offer, make the binding, and express the seriousness of this offer acceptance. I think that's the best way to bind them, rather than not releasing an offer until the day of joining.
Okay.
I mean, my opinion is I don't think it will work to your advantage if you do it that way.
No, actually, there like a similar instance happened, when the candidate is an immediate joiner. Just before the day of joining, I release the offer, and on the day of joining, the candidate ghosts me. So such an instance has also happened. So after that, I wanted to.
Right. No, I mean, I feel so sorry about that, right? Like I have empathy for you, and we actually had that issues also. So my thinking is, let's say even if you release an offer on that day and the guy joins, the guy can actually even leave tomorrow.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that won't solve the problem. The only thing is we need to have strings attached to that guy and say that you cannot escape. Like if you misbehave, it is tracked. Right now, people are exploiting because nobody's tracking them, right? Either there has to be ethical.
I am not getting an opportunity to explain that thing to the candidate because the candidate has just ghosted me. He's not responding to my calls, messages, nothing.
Yes. I mean, see, the thing is, let's say you are setting up an interview with a candidate, go through the process. You could also explain even before you do an interview saying, our process is we will release an offer on offer X and it's a binding. Are you fine with it? If you are good with it, then we will move forward with the interview process. And that's one way you can actually weed out some of the people not holding to their word or, being unethical. That's the general practice we actually follow. Like I said, like we have tremendously benefited by this. More than 90% of the candidates are joining us. So I think that's an approach I will highly encourage, and that's an approach will surface these candidates in the system. If you are not using it, people are exploiting. See, how many candidates have exploited you so far? Maybe 50, 100, 200, right? What if all these candidates have been tracked on OfferX? They will not do that mistake again. They cannot afford to do that mistake again. And that's where I'm seeking help from everyone. Like, we all have to be using this.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Durga. Thank you so much for that question. I think the questions are getting poured like anything. So I can see multiple questions in the chat as well. But most of the questions got answered by Krishna already.
Yeah,
but
I see Meera. I think there is one more person.
Okay. Yeah. So can we enable Meera Santosh mic?
Yeah.
And also, thanks, Krishna. Thanks, Santosh.
Yeah, sure, Meera. Like one thing, like feel free to ask questions. I have time. If you guys have time, I'm more than happy to answer your questions.
Yeah. One question from my end. You spoke about the consent being signed by the candidates. What if the candidates still ghost us after signing the consent?
Yes.
What next?
Yeah. So what next? That's where you put a review on the person saying the guy has not joined our company, ghosted on us. So at least what you are really helping is you are helping the next employer and making sure this guy stops this behavior, right? If you don't do this,
but the candidate doesn't get notified, right? He doesn't know about the product, right? That he's noticed by the other companies. Or
no. Actually, he would, right? Like, see, what happens is when you are actually onboarding the guy, you will explain saying, we will release an offer on a platform called OfferX, and then you will accept it. Once you accept and you ghost us, then we will review on you, right? We convey that message to all the offers that we release. So that's really, helping with all the offers that, because they know if someone is having that, crooked mind thinking that, I'm going to use your offer and I'm not going to join you, right? They will just stop right there. They won't even come forward to sign up with you. But there are some bold souls, they will still come forward and say they will sign, and they will still ghost you, and they will pay the price for it, right? They may not know it now, but the next 1 year or so, they will have difficulty finding a job. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there is another question from the chat. Actually, I would like to read out that question. So how long since this service is in business? In the last 1 year, what is the percentage of your client who gained from this application?
Yeah. So like I said, this product was released only like 4 or 5 months ago. And then within like such a short period of time, we have gained over 1,000 clients using, and there are several thousand offers have been released. And we are pretty committed on this product because it's not something we build for others. We have lived through this pain, and we said like enough is enough, and we want to fix this problem. In some ways, we treat this as a service, not as much as a business, but for sustainability, we need to make sure there needs to be a little bit of subscription type model in the future. But there will always be a free version available so that we help out the companies. Yeah, we'll be here. Like, we are not going anywhere. We'll be here, and we want to help all the companies to take advantage and help themselves.
Yeah. Got it, Krishna. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I think we have almost answered all other questions. I think looks like we're all good. So anyway, so we have a few other questions in the chat, and we are going to answer all these questions, and we are going to send these answers over your email. So we have your email address with us. So we're going to address all these questions over the email for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Anyway, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure meeting with all of you and sharing the same problem we all have. I will look forward to opportunities where we can collaborate and help each other and make it a good place for everyone. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time and joining this session.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Bye, guys.